Hello and welcome! It is your girl Tori, and today we're going to be talking about how trauma is actually stored in your body. We're going to be focusing on three main systems: your lymphatic system, your nervous system, and your fascial system. And if you haven't heard of any of those three, all good. We're going to explain what those are. And if you're a little familiar with those, still stick around because I guarantee that you're going to have a good time hanging out with me and you're probably going to learn something that you haven't heard before. In the last video, we talked about exactly what trauma is. And if you didn't catch that one, trauma is, in essence, an overwhelm of energy that was stored away for later processing. And there can be big T trauma, singular, big events, but it also can be little t trauma, ongoing stresses, stored toxins, pathogens, trapped emotions, etc., as well as an absence of safety, security, belonging, connection. So it doesn't always mean something happened to you. It can be, neglect or something like that where there was meant to be safety and there wasn't. So all of these things, stresses, threats, create open stress response loops that then add up to our total trauma, total baggage, total toxic load, however you want to think about it, the total amount of stuff we're carrying around that happened in the past that we're still responding to today. We're going to approach this subject not from a place of fear or pathology, but from deep understanding. And I also invite you to check in with yourself, to tune in to your body in this present moment and notice what is alive for you. What is present? What sensations are there? What sort of musings and movements and murmurs are there going on in your body as you consume this material? The main system that is brought up when you talk about trauma is going to be your nervous system, which, for a good reason. Your nervous system's main job is to detect threats and respond to those threats. Your nervous system is constantly receiving information, interpreting that information, and then sending instructions back out in the focus of regulating survival and maintaining homeostasis. So your nervous system has two main branches, and that is going to be your central nervous system and then your peripheral nervous system. And your central nervous system includes your brain and your spinal cord. Your peripheral nervous system includes all of the other nerves coming off of that into your body. So main communication network right here. And then you have two functional branches within the peripheral nervous system, and that is going to be your somatic nervous system, which is conscious control and regulated movements, such as picking up this labradorite crystal and placing it back down. And then you have your autonomic nervous system, which we are going to go into more detail, that kind of runs in the subconscious background, that is regulating your hormones. That's the nervous system that is scanning for threats. It involves your heart rate, your breathing patterns, your posture, and as we're going to talk about, also is the home of the response tactics known as fight, flight, freeze, and fawn. So that autonomic nervous system then has two branches known as your sympathetic and your parasympathetic nervous system. And from the findings of polyvagal theory, there's a bit of a structural nuance to the parasympathetic nervous system and the way that it is organized. So then there's also the ventral vagal and the dorsal vagal aspects of the parasympathetic nervous system. The ventral vagal is also known as the social engagement system. That is when we are engaging, connecting. Obviously, we want to feel at ease, we want to feel open, we want to feel as though we can truly connect, we want to feel safe. And then there is the dorsal vagal, which is the shutdown and immobilization of energy. And so there's a nuance there that we'll discuss in the following section about how trauma impacts the nervous system. Let's understand each of the response tactics. First, we're going to go into the fight response. This is your body's instinctive reaction when it perceives a threat and it prepares to defend. It is characterized by increased heart rate, elevated adrenaline levels, and heightened alertness. Your body feels ready to confront or overpower the danger. This response is often associated with anger, aggression, or assertiveness in the face of stress or threat. Next, let's discuss your flight response, which is the second response of your sympathetic nervous system. The flight response occurs when the body prepares to escape or flee from a perceived threat. It triggers an increase in heart rate, rapid breathing, and a burst of energy aimed at helping the individual move more quickly away from danger. This response is often linked with feelings of anxiety, panic, or the urge to run away from difficult situations, both physically and emotionally. Next, let's discuss your freeze response. The freeze response happens when the body perceives a threat and becomes immobilized. This may be a survival mechanism when escape or confrontation feels impossible. The body may experience a sense of numbness, dissociation, or paralysis. This can show up as shutting down emotionally, withdrawing, or feeling disconnected from your body or surroundings. And finally, let's discuss the fawn response. The fawn response is the tendency to appease, please, or caretake others to avoid conflict or danger. This response often arises from a desire to keep the peace or avoid rejection. It's a coping mechanism where one may suppress their own needs, desires, or boundaries in favor of gaining approval or staying safe in relationships or stressful situations. Each of these four responses is the result of our autonomic nervous system's instinctual responses to keep us safe. And these responses may become maladaptive when they are repeatedly triggered in those open stress response loops from either stored trauma or ongoing stress. Each of these four responses is again meant to be a short-term response. This energy in loop is meant to close and discharge. It becomes maladaptive when the response stays open and on for prolonged periods of time. The next system that we're going to talk about is your fascial system. And if you've never heard of fascia, welcome to a life-changing concept. Fascia runs all the way from the top of your head down to the tip of your toes. It is connective tissue that encases every single organ, bone, muscle. It is a web, an intelligent, communicative web that runs throughout your entire body. Kind of important. Underserved system of the body in relation to your holistic health. Fascia is both sensory and structural, receiving and communicating energy throughout the entire body. This connective web, this system of fascia, is rich with sensory nerves, especially interoceptors, which help us perceive our inner landscape and get that information, which again, our body is trying to communicate us. So creating a deeper relationship with your fascia helps you understand what is going on in your own body. When fascia is healthy, it is fluid and flexible, highly adaptive, well hydrated. And when it is stressed and perhaps in a state of dis-ease, it becomes tight and rigid and thick and hard and dehydrated. And like other systems of our body, they all work together. And if your fascia is restricted and tight and in a state of dis-ease, it usually leads to problems in other areas such as musculoskeletal and yes, your lymphatic system, which we're going to talk about. Your fascia, again, encases and winds through every single tendon, muscle, bone, and organ. All of your body is reliant on a healthy fascial system. And fascia is highly adaptable. So it can change its structure and shape depending on the physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual demands placed upon it. Fascia is thought to have a sort of memory as well. Many people believe that our stored traumas and energies largely are stored in our fascia. And so when we have these patterns of contraction or bracing, this armoring from stress and traumatic events, our fascia can remain stuck in that bracing, in that holding pattern that then restricts our movement. And because fascia is continuous throughout our entire body, a restriction in one spot usually leads to imbalance and restrictions in other parts because it's this continuous web. And so trauma usually is not in one isolated part of the body, but it's spread throughout the body, which can contribute to mystery pains, achiness, illness, in seemingly unrelated parts of the body compared to where the original trauma was. Alrighty, now here's a system that if you don't know about it yet, you absolutely need to know. Once again, the lymphatic system. Did you know that you have more lymphatic fluid in your body than blood? Indeed you do. And if you saw how intricate these pathways that all of your lymph fluid flows in your body, you would be amazed. They are all over your body, baby. So what is your lymphatic system? Your lymphatic system is a network of vessels, nodes, and organs that help cleanse, defend, and balance the body. It is responsible for removing cellular waste and toxins, transporting immune cells, and maintaining fluid balance. The major organs and structures of the lymphatic system include lymph nodes, which filter lymph fluid and house immune cells, your spleen, which filters blood and helps fight infection, your thymus gland, which produces immune cells, especially in your childhood, your tonsils and adenoids, which trap pathogens from the mouth and nose, your bone marrow, which produces lymphocytes, and your lymphatic vessels, which transport that beautiful lymph fluid all around your body. Here's the catch though. While your blood has your heart to pump it around your body, your lymphatic fluid does not have its own pump. It relies on deep breathing and movement, which, as we've already discussed, trauma usually restricts both of those, leads to shallow breathing and restricted movement, which has a negative impact on your lymphatic health. And again, in modern times, there are a lot of toxins and pathogens and other debris that your body needs to be removing and detoxing on a daily basis. So that can also lead to congestion in your lymphatic system because there is an overload that needs to be released, as well as, again, if there are restrictions in your fascia, in other aspects of your body, maybe you have had lymph nodes removed or your tonsils or adenoids removed, you might be missing parts of this system that are usually in place to help keep you healthy. When trauma and ongoing stress causes shallow breathing, restricted or limited movement, as well as, again, the tightness and restriction within your fascial and other systems, that can lead to stagnant lymph, which then limits your body's ability to protect, cleanse, and defend itself. Over time, this can lead to inflammation, fatigue, toxic buildup within the tissues, as well as a weakened immune system. Stretching and dynamic movement allows lymph to move more freely through your body. If you're curious to learn more about this, please check out the resources in the link to this description. There are practices that support your lymphatic system, support your nervous system, and that can support your fascial system. So definitely check those out in the description below. So to recap, in this video, we talked about how trauma impacts 3 main systems of your body: your nervous system, your lymphatic system, and your fascial system. So trauma does not just live in one place, which is why including the total beingness of your body and being into your healing is absolutely essential. And when we listen to our bodies rather than overriding, magic happens, healing happens. Space is created for alchemy and transformation. Your body is not broken. Your body has been protecting you the best it can. Healing doesn't require reliving the past. It requires radical honesty about the present. It requires a deep presence and nurturing, compassionate spirit for all that is arriving within you and alive within you in this moment, which, yes, may echo past events. So while there isn't a magic pill that you can take to just get rid of your trauma in one go, I promise you that your healing will be exponentially more efficient and effective and impactful and felt when you start including your body. And these 3 systems are an amazing place to start. You deserve to feel safe, seen, heard, and witnessed. And I hope that you give yourself that gift. It's my prayer for you today. If you'd like additional support and resources on your healing journey, check out the self-healing organism link in the description. My transforming trauma guide is truly the best practices that I've learned over the last 10, 12 years, whatever it's been since I've been on my healing journey, and it is yours free today. So make sure you download that, subscribe to the Self-Healing Organism YouTube, click the notification bell so that you're notified every time I upload a video, and please like and subscribe, comment. I want this to be a community space. Let me know if you have questions. Drop them in the comments below. I will absolutely read every single comment and reply back to your questions. And know that you're not alone. I want you to know and feel, not just know here, but know here, and feel so deeply within your body and your being and your system that you are worthy and deserving of feeling safe in your body, that you can trust the innate intelligence arising spontaneously through you in each moment. That is living and that is life. And I honor you as your #1 guide and teacher. You will always know yourself the best out of anybody, and please remember that. Please remember to listen to yourself, to listen to your intelligence. You know right from wrong. You know wisdom and discernment, like you feel it. I know that God lives within you just like it lives within everything else that we can see in this world. That's what I believe anyways. All my love, Tori. Peace out.